what is your favorite cult hero in college football? Maybe a guy who didn't win a title or anything, but carried their team for a few years and has a fan base that swears by them. How about these two names? Denard Robinson and Juice Williams come to mind. So there's some Michigan and some Illinois love. I had one that came to mind immediately, and then I tried to think, okay, is there anyone else that compares to this person? I couldn't come up with anyone close to Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel, if you looked up college football cult figure in the dictionary, number 2 there from the Aggies would have his picture in that college football dictionary. They never won a national championship, but his profile grew and grew and grew during that 2012 season. Then they go to Alabama, and of course, once they beat Alabama, he was on everyone's national radar. But, you know, if you were betting college football back then, and you started to hear about him way before the mainstream college football casuals did, you knew about him. If you watched A&M, just a diehard college football already knew about him. But mainstream college football didn't really know Johnny Manziel until that Alabama win. But once that happened, it just blows up. And what I was thinking about when I came to Johnny Manziel is, number 1, I don't think anyone else touches him. But number 2, imagine if I were to take Johnny Manziel. Sometimes we play the little grab claw game. So we go and pick Johnny Manziel up and boom, drop him into 2022. You know what we have today? 3 letters that we didn't have back then. NIL. Johnny Manziel probably wouldn't even need to hurry up and get to the NFL because he probably would have been making enough in college. Consider what his market value would be worth on the name, image, and likeness front alone, what his market value would be. Not only did he have that big national profile and he was a very polarizing figure, but imagine him playing for Texas A&M, because Texas A&M, just that Aggie logo alone, and then you combine that with Johnny Manziel, I can't imagine. I mean, he would rewrite the record books for years to come when it came to the NIL game. He would be setting the pace. You would not be talking about Caleb Williams. You'd be talking about Johnny Manziel. So that was the first thing I thought about. But then, if we were to try and get past Johnny Manziel, okay, so I've established that's my slam dunk. That is the cult figure that I think about. Who else do we have? We're looking at guys who were high profile, that may not have won a national championship, and I think Tyrann Mathieu is another one. I mean, he had his own nickname. You know, if you're a defensive player and you get your own nickname, Honey Badger, for those unfamiliar, I think that's a pretty big deal. And Tyrann Mathieu's name started to really blow up during that 2011 season, I believe it was, especially when LSU beat Bama, and then LSU goes on to win the SEC championship. Now, they got run in the national championship game, but by then, the stature of Tyrann Mathieu had already been established and solidified. And Tyrann Mathieu was getting Heisman love now. And he was a guy on a loaded defense down there. And he stood out. So he's the defensive guy for me. I was talking to Jesse and Colin. They threw Ndamukong Suh out there, for Nebraska. Ndamukong Suh, a guy that I thought was the best player in the country in 2009. How about Michael Vick? You know, if you want to go back 20-some-odd years ago, as early 2000s, Michael Vick would be another guy who fits that description. Got Virginia Tech to that national championship level. Didn't win one, but got him to that level. But Mike Vick, you know, I think of any of these guys in the NIL era, and I think of what they would do, and those are the 3 names. Johnny Manziel first and foremost, but Mike Vick, Tyrann Mathieu, just for entertainment's sake, I'd love to see what they would do modern day.